How would you like to make $1 million? What do you want more than anything else in the world? How many times has some little voice within you told you to do or say something, but you've not done it or said it because you weren't sure you could believe in yourself? If someone asked you to define the word success, how would you go about it? It's a fact that most people wouldn't know success if it kicked them right in the seat of the pants. I think it's best to stand at the starting line with nothing more than youth, strength, ambition, and determination. And then the game begins.
Hello, this is Earl Nightingale. The exciting, the phenomenal era in which we live has been called the Golden Age. It's an apt description. During our lives, more changes have occurred, more progress has been made than during any previous millennium in the development of man. It would be almost impossible to select the most important discovery in recent years. What do you choose? The jet engine, atomic energy, metals, synthetic fibers, rockets, satellites, transistors, the laser, television, plastics, antibiotics, computers, men on the moon, self-image psychology, mass communications. Well, the list goes on and on endlessly. And if reflection on the recent past is amazing, what about the near future? No one can say for sure what changes will come during the next 5 or 10 years, but they will come, and they'll be amazing, even fantastic. The two most important areas of development in the future will be the collection of data for business and marketing and the study of the motivation of people. And that's what this program is all about.
The Secret Advantage, a compilation of Earl Nightingale's best messages for success in the 21st century.
Our changing world has never changed so rapidly as it's going to in the next few decades.
Throughout hundreds of hours of best-selling programs and decades of his radio broadcasts, Earl Nightingale emphasized a theme that relies on just 6 words.
We become what we think about. Just 6 words.
Those 6 words have been around for thousands of years in some form and spoken in every language known. We all know that just thinking is only daydreaming, and the real challenge is to learn how to think. The Secret Advantage updates Earl Nightingale's most relevant messages based on core fundamentals to capitalize on your thoughts.
One of the problems with a business person is that after developing and profiting from a good idea, he will tend to stay with it in unchanging form too long. For some things, that'll work, but for most things, it won't. They need updating on a regular, annual basis. We need to ask ourselves at regular intervals, a number of times each year, how can we make it better, more efficient? How can we bring it up to the best of present, even future standards? And when we're creating or building something, are we anticipating the future?
When Earl Nightingale anticipated the future, it would have taken a wild imagination to see how we spend our time thinking today. Distractions make it hard to focus. According to Nielsen's Total Audience Report, Americans aged 18 and older spend more than 11 hours a day watching TV, listening to the radio, or using smartphones and other electronic devices. 11 hours a day seems like a lot, but those 11 hours are spent while doing other things at the same time. But that only creates distracted activity, as well as distracted thinking. Smartphone owners keep their phones near them all day, some even while they sleep, and the majority check their phone at least a few times every hour. Certainly the telephone and then radio and then television change the way people relate to the world. And the smartphone, no doubt, is doing the same. Those 6 words, we become what we think about, are true. It's a universal law that's been around thousands of years. And these 6 words launched the personal development audio publishing industry. And today, it's a proven law that will unlock all of your potential to achieve any goal you choose.
Each of us has a perfectly natural tendency to underestimate our own powers, to feel despair, to want more than anything else, to quit. That's the time we should not quit.
Technological revolution and globalization offers new challenges. However, personal development skills are critical in any age. Competition today requires new types of leaders that understand social media, search engines, and product development. All of these things are irrelevant without the core competency to get the job in the first place and then to be able to rise to the top. For this reason, the Secret Advantage presents the information in 4 concise modules based on the word CORE, used as an acronym for competency, opportunity, results, and effectiveness. Developing these dynamic core fundamentals begins with becoming competent in our career choices, industry, and specific field of expertise. Next, how to recognize opportunities to get you to the top. What results can be expected are in the next series of episodes. And finally, the core skills and tactics to become extremely effective in your unique qualifications. Here's what's coming up on The Secret Advantage. Information is organized in specific episodes, and there are enough episodes to last for a couple of months of daily listening. Choose an episode a day, and your life will change. Guaranteed.
I think everyone agrees that what you concentrate upon, you bring into your life. And I was reading something to the effect that many people fail to concentrate successfully because they think that concentration means willpower. They suppose that the harder they press, the faster they get through. But that's quite wrong. Think of the photographic process. The secret of a clear picture lies in focus. You focus your camera lens steadily for the necessary length of time. Suppose I want to make a time exposure of a vase of flowers. I place them in front of the camera and keep them there. But suppose that after a few moments I snatch away the vase and hold a book in front of the camera, and then snatch that away and hold up a chair, and then put the flowers back for a few minutes. You know what will happen to the picture. It'll be a crazy blur. Is not that what people do to their minds when they cannot keep their thoughts concentrated for any length of time? They think good thoughts for a few minutes, then they think sickness or fear. They think prosperity, and then they think depression. They think success, and then failure. Is it any wonder that man is so apt to demonstrate the marred image? It's always good to make a practical experiment, so I advise you to take a single problem in your life and just change your mind concerning it, and keep it changed for a month, and you'll be astonished at the results. If you really do keep your thought changed, you won't have to wait a month for results. But getting back to that camera analogy, I think it's excellent. What you concentrate upon, you bring into your life. So, what's important to you? What do you want more than anything else? Well, just focus your mental lens upon it and hold it until enough time has elapsed for it to be realized. Don't blur the picture. Take a single problem in your life and change your mind concerning it. Keep your mind changed for a month, and you'll be astonished at the results.
Listening 20 minutes a day compared to 11 hours a day on media and electronic devices is a small investment to empower you to deliver what every successful company needs and wants, and that is the focus on developing human capital. Every expansion into a new techno-driven world requires highly motivated, fully functioning human beings. The smart companies recognize the value of investing in the right people at the right time.
How much are you willing to give for what you think you want? And do you understand the truth that we get out of life just exactly what we put into it, but not a nickel more nor a nickel less?
The new competitive landscape of our changing world creates unlimited opportunities. Some of the largest retailers today don't even own stores. These new industries have learned what Lloyd Conant knew when he and Earl Nightingale teamed up to launch Nightingale Conant, the world's first and largest personal development publishing company. Lloyd knew that if you have a product that can be mailed, you have a business. To date, Nightingale Conant has changed more lives and made more millionaires than all personal development authors and experts combined. The genesis of the company began with Earl Nightingale's audio program, The Strangest Secret. Earl explained how The Strangest Secret was created to solve a problem.
In March of 1956, an amazing thing happened to me. I was retiring from a very busy schedule and had decided to take it easy for a while, and I decided to spend some time in Arizona. Since I'd be away, the manager of one of my little businesses asked me if I would record on tape a message he could play at the next sales meeting. Well, this made sense to me, so I decided to put into a 30-minute talk in capsule form the important things I'd learned during the more than 20 years of research on why men and women succeeded or failed in life that I'd done. Well, I spent quite a bit of time putting the thing together, and then I recorded the message, and I called it The Strangest Secret. Well, it wasn't long before people started asking for copies of the talk. and finally we had to have it pressed into a record. At first, hoping that I might get back the cost of producing it, the masters, pressings, the record jacket, the artwork, the plates, and all that. I just arbitrarily set a price of $15 on the record. I figured that if it would help a person, it would be worth $15, and if it didn't help, he could certainly get his money back by returning it. Well, to my amazement, The Strangest Secret started selling faster than ever. I soon had back my original investment, and so immediately dropped the price on the record from $15 to $4.95. And then things really began to happen. My office had trouble just keeping an adequate inventory. The record began to sell in the tens of thousands, and in a couple of years we'd sold more than 100,000 copies to companies and individuals in countries all over the world. I don't know whether you've ever had a bestseller on your hands or not, but I want to tell you it's just about the most interesting and exciting thing that can happen to a person. The thing that pleased me most, of course, has been the letters that have come to me telling me that the record's been of help in some way. I spent so many years wallowing in confusion myself that I know what it is to get your life straightened out and on the right track for the first time. It's an interesting thing about this business of living successfully. Once you know how, it's a whole lot easier than living unsuccessfully. All the confusion, the running around in circles, the doubt and frustration disappear, and you can chart yourself a clear, straight course to the things you want in life and achieve them with amazing regularity one after another. I know one thing for sure, 95% of the people who feel they're hemmed in and held down by circumstances can find that they can achieve their goals, one after another, right on schedule, and get the things they want out of life, if they'll just learn what I call the strangest secret. And anyone can learn it. Any child can learn it. It has been said that men don't need educating as much as they need reminding. I think most people really know what they should do to achieve the things they want, but it's easy to forget what's important and to keep them in their proper order.
Vic Conant, Lloyd's son, became president and chairman of Nightingale Conant. And Vic has led that company to become the world's largest publisher of personal development audio and video products. Vic tells how that meeting between Earl and Lloyd launched the audio publishing business.
Dad met Earl Nightingale, in 1956, and Earl was a popular radio commentator on WGN here in Chicago, and my dad by then was a successful businessman. He owned his own direct marketing and printing company, and Earl had just produced a recording called The Strangest Secret. And Earl was looking for someone to market that product, and the two of them met, and Dad ended up selling 1 million of those over the years. So they were a match made in heaven. My dad was the marketer, and Earl was the talent. Yeah. Earl, like Lloyd, was a Depression child and grew up poor in California. Earl educated himself. He was an avid reader and a brilliant guy. Both of them had a high school education. Earl was a totally self-made man, as my dad was. And so the two of them hit it off and eventually created Nightingale Conant when I was about 14 in 1960. Every individual who has discovered this fact throughout the ages has found it to be a profound, life-changing discovery. Earl Nightingale called it the strangest secret. You become what you think about. And the fact is, our thoughts control, and many believe, create our reality. And that puts a great responsibility on our thinking. It also makes us responsible for our own lives, which is great.
The first core fundamental is becoming competent. Times change, but the principles do not.
These recorded messages are intended to aid you in both areas. Each is a distillation of many great minds on the subjects of living successfully and communicating more effectively with others. Since they're both short and recorded, you can listen to them repeatedly and effortlessly in just a few minutes a day. Our company can back a man up with the finest product, the best reputation, outstanding advertising, and all these things help. But they're all behind him when he sets about doing his job, his own work. At this point, it's up to him. He's as alone as a driver on the track at the Indianapolis 500. Every man or woman performing his or her special skill is on his own when it's time for him to produce, to deliver the goods. And that's why we all need to learn new ideas and be constantly reminded of old ones if we're going to compete successfully with those who do. Why must we be reminded, or find a way to remind ourselves of these great ideas? It's because our memories are short. In one respect, this is good, in that we quickly forget our past mistakes, failures, and embarrassments. But it's bad in that we also tend to forget those things we need to remember daily if we're to achieve the results we want. These short messages are intended to give you instant knowledge, and then in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead to provide quick and effortless instant reminders. Unlike books, which we'd like to read again and again but seldom do, you'll find these recorded ideas easy to listen to at any time of day or night. Just a few minutes of listening, and you're back on the track again with a wealth of helpful ideas you can put into action immediately. Now, no one can force an individual to improve, become bigger and more effective in whatever he does. The person who moves forward has to do it through individual effort, and this is as it should be, because in the last analysis, every person is working for himself. He's building his own life, regardless of where he happens to find his rewards. The ideas and principles in these messages provide you with an opportunity to grow, to live and work closer to your potential as a human being. What action you as an individual take is your own affair. There isn't a human being on earth who's interested in growth and personal success who doesn't have these 4 vital needs. 1, information. 2, a plan of action to put that information to work. 3, reminding, constant reminding, what he or she knows. And 4, inspiration, the motivation to grow and build a better life on the foundation of his present. I hope you'll enjoy these messages and more, find them helping you toward the goals you want to achieve.
In the upcoming episodes on competency, we'll find out about specific skills you can use to earn more money.
More people have more money, a lot more than ever before, in the history of the world. But you'd be surprised at the number of people who really don't understand just what money is and why we get it in the amounts we do. This is Earl Nightingale. Thank you.